Hello lovely people of the world, Sarah here and welcome back to our channel Love Withstanding. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and for bearing with me and all my lateness when it comes to posting videos of my pregnancy updates. For this video, I'll be touching on my symptoms and some highlights of weeks 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and 29 of pregnancy. As you guys know, I am way further along now than the pregnancy updates that I'll be giving you. I just want you guys to catch up, and I'm so sorry if these updates are so late. Like I said, I have been so exhausted and, just living life day to day, busy working as a full-time nurse, as well as being a mom to my almost 2-year-old daughter, Sabrina, and, trying to be a good wife. Good wife, that was funny. And trying to be there for my sweet, loving husband who also works from home. So yeah, I do my best to spend time with them as well as spend some time with my mom, my sister, and my niece. So yeah, it's hard to balance all of that with the lack of energy that I have from having to grow a human baby in my belly. So yeah. Thank you guys for being so understanding. For those of you who have left comments in the comment section below, telling me, giving me that support that I need, encouraging me, like, yeah, just rest. You don't need to apologize. Like, thank you guys so much. You guys are just the sweetest. Like, we're so lucky to have you. All right, so here we go. Well, luckily, I was able to write down, keep a record of my symptoms and highlights for this pregnancy here in my phone. So please bear with me if I keep looking down at my phone or whatnot for notes. I just wanted to be as accurate as possible so I could also record and cherish these videos for future reference as well. Like, you never know. My due date for this second pregnancy is on January 24, 2021. So hopefully it would be a better year. I know that we're all struggling right now with the pandemic and we've all been hit hard with restrictions, and maybe we know some loved ones that have caught the virus and are recovering or may not have had the privilege of recovering from it as well. Like yeah, it's a really sad year. Hopefully we have a better one next year. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I can. Look how happy she is. You look so hyper today. We should just throw you in the snow outside. Just whoosh. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Sorry, you weren't ready. Yay! Again? So, I will begin with weeks 23 to 24 because the symptoms are pretty much the same. So yeah, please bear with me if I don't have any makeup on again. Like I said, just no energy this time around compared to my first pregnancy. That's the major difference. So anyway, for weeks 23 to 24, now the baby's kicks are visible in my belly. So yeah, you know how in my previous video, if you haven't watched that, I mentioned that I started to feel baby's kicks on September 14, 2020. Well, this time I could physically, and so can my hubby Justin, we could physically see the baby's kicks on my belly. It's like little knocks. It's so cute. I can't believe it. But yeah, it's very reassuring because then now I could start sort of relaxing a little, knowing that baby's active, baby's hopefully doing well inside of there, and that baby's fine. Because every time I feel kicks or I even see kicks, I'm like, okay, baby's fine. It's like, it's really tough when until you other mamas I'm sure can totally relate, until you get to that moment in your pregnancy where you could feel the baby move, you can feel the baby's kicks. You're just hoping for the best and hoping that everything's okay down there. Especially when people ask you, like, how are you? How's the baby? And it's like, how could I answer the part, how's the baby? Like, I can't really tell you because I can't feel anything, And then thankfully, for weeks 23 to 24, I can officially say baby's fine, baby's kicking, so it's all good. Like, hopefully, right? Fingers crossed. But yeah. Also, I noticed more Braxton Hicks contractions as well during these 2 weeks. So basically, my belly is starting to feel tighter. It's like practice contractions early on in a woman's pregnancy that sort of help the uterus. I mean, helps the body prepare for when baby arrives, for when the real contractions kick in. Whew. But yeah, thankfully these Braxton Hicks contractions are not painful. They're just noticeable every once in a while. I'll feel like my belly's starting to feel tight as a basketball, you guys. A really inflated basketball. But yeah, and then it goes away. Like, it comes and goes, so nothing to worry about there. I noticed finally for weeks 23 to 24, I noticed that my appetite's finally starting to pick up. Thank goodness. I don't know if you guys have watched my previous pregnancy updates for this second pregnancy, but I had mentioned that I did not have much of an appetite. As much as I was hungry, I just couldn't get myself to eat my usual serving size on a plate. So I'm so happy that my appetite's picking up. I'm starting to snack in between as well. It's not just, I mean, I'm starting to get to my full serving size per meal, but at least I'm able to also get the appetite to snack in between. So that is awesome. I also noticed that my TMI, you guys, you're watching a pregnancy update, expect a lot of TMIs because I'm going to be real with you. I am not embarrassed by any of my symptoms. I am proud of them. You know, if this is my body's way of manifesting a healthy growing baby inside of me, I am more than happy to share with you guys my embarrassing symptoms. But here we go. I noticed my nipples getting darker because, I mean, they also got dark when I was pregnant with my daughter the first time around. So yeah, it's starting again. I also noticed my nipples are not only darker, but they're also bigger. Yeah, they're like, okay, like really big, like big. But of course, that's your body's way of, you know, showing, like, that's your body's pregnancy hormones and its way of sort of getting ready and prepping for when baby arrives. And baby has like blurred, usually newborns come out with blurred vision, so it helps them sort of maneuver their way onto your booby when you're ready to breastfeed. So yeah, so I don't know if you guys remember, but I did mention that if you tune in to this video, I will be talking more on this particular symptom, which my doctor finally was able to diagnose me with. But this symptom that I'm talking about for weeks 23 to 24 is the puffy and tight labia. So that's the lips, the lips or vulva region down there in the vaginal region. My lady bits basically feel puffier and tighter, and I just didn't understand why that was. So yeah, I will touch on that in the next few symptoms here. Just bear with me, it's coming in this video for sure. I also noticed that week 23 onwards of pregnancy, I started craving sweets. Up until this point, I could not for the life of me eat my usual serving of sweets, because every time I would touch sweets, which I love by the way, but for some reason in this pregnancy, every time I nibble on some sweets, I feel like I feel nauseous a bit. I start to get burpy throat. I just feel like yuck, you know what I mean? So I'm like, no, let's not touch sweets, which is really sad for me because I love my sweets. But yeah, thankfully it's coming back now. I'm starting to crave sweets. I'm able to nibble a little bit on them. I still don't go crazy because when I try, like, you know, first of all, I have a glucose test coming up, or that's part of what's happening now in the next few weeks. So I had to like be very mindful about the amount of sweets because I do have a family history of diabetes. My mom is diabetic. I believe a bunch of her siblings are diabetic too. So yeah, I haven't been officially diagnosed yet, but we will see, because I'm gonna touch on that right now.
Ninth planet. Sabrina is the ninth planet. Ninth planet.
I'm gonna move on now to weeks 25 to 26 of pregnancy. Now for week 25 to 26, I went for my blood glucose screen test during pregnancy, which is a test that all pregnant women have to go through just to test for the need to test further whether or not a pregnant woman has gestational diabetes, which is basically diabetes that is acquired during pregnancy and then tends to sort of go away as soon as baby comes out, you know. So yeah, so with this glucose screen, what do you think? Did I pass or did I fail? Okay, I'm gonna just tell you. So for this first glucose screen, I actually failed, and therefore I got a call from my doctor. I only failed by a few decimal points. I got a call from my doctor's office, and she basically told me that I would have to book for a gestational diabetes test, which is the glucose, like a fasting blood glucose kind of blood work. So yeah, so I had booked that as well, I believe like a week later. Yeah, so I believe when I was like about 26 weeks along, I booked the the gestational diabetes blood test, which is where you have to actually fast prior to your blood sugar being drawn prior to this test. So I had to fast for 8 hours prior, which I did. And then when I went for this test, they would basically test my sugar before they give me the sugary drink. Which is not so bad, really. Actually, I said that before. I said it in the first pregnancy that when I had the same sugar, I mean, I also failed the very first glucose screen with my first pregnancy, but I ended up passing my second test, which is the fasting blood glucose gestational diabetes test. So this time around, I'm like, oh my god, like I got so nervous. I'm like, I hope I pass this time around as well. But yeah, they gave me, they tested my blood prior to giving me a sugary drink, which tastes just like orange soda with less fizz and just with a bitter aftertaste. The first time with my first pregnancy, I actually enjoyed this sugary drink. But with this pregnancy, as you guys know, I can barely tolerate sweet stuff, my usual sweet stuff. So when I drank it this time around, it didn't taste as good or as tolerable as the first time around. So I'm like, oh my gosh, it was tough, but I had to consume it they said within 5 minutes. So I'm like, huh, I can do this. So yeah, I think it was 10 minutes, I can't remember, but I was able to consume it within 3. You know, I just had to pace myself. And of course, I'm not allowed to drink water after that. So, and I'm not allowed to leave the clinic. They had to keep me there, and then an hour after that sugary drink they had to test me, and then an hour out, and then 2 hours after the sugary drink they had to test my blood again. And that's basically how they get the result as to whether or not I have gestational diabetes. And so, do you guys think I passed this one or failed? I passed. Yay! I was so happy. I was like, I passed again. Whew. Like, burden off my shoulder. I was so scared. I was like, if I end up with gestational diabetes, which is like, you guys, like I have nothing against other pregnant women who might have unfortunately gotten diagnosed with gestational diabetes. Like, I have so much respect for those women that do, because they have to like basically keep poking their finger, I think 3 or 4 times a day to check, to keep their blood sugars in check, and to also they have to watch their diet, they have to like start an exercise regimen and all that stuff. It's just, you know, like for me personally, I just of course, like, I don't want to go through that because I'm already stressed and tired as it is, you know, just like not having the energy to be able to remember to poke myself every time. And I mean, that's gotta hurt for like the next few months before baby comes out, right? So I'm so grateful, and also, yeah, it's kind of like a wake up call as well for me personally to try to watch my sugar intake, especially having a family history of diabetes. Like, I really should like start an exercise regimen. I promise I will do all that after I give birth though, because I am just so exhausted right now. I guess I'll be more exhausted when baby comes out, because then sleepless nights and all, right? But that's my promise to myself, is that I will do my best to get an exercise regimen started, even if it's just like walking every day, walking briskly. I mean, thankfully, being a full-time nurse helps me a lot when it comes to having my daily walks, or my dose of exercise for the day. So yeah, thankfully, I'm getting some exercise this pregnancy, and I'm hoping to be able to do that until the very end, as long as I still have the energy to work until as close as possible to my due date. We'll see, you guys, because I mean, if you don't have the energy and your brain is no longer working, it's hard to maintain or to remain working, because I mean, we are dealing with people's lives, so it isn't easy. So I'll have to gauge that and then keep you guys posted. All right. So the exciting thing for weeks 25 to 26 is I got my first ever appointment booked. I mean, I was able to, my first ever appointment booked to see my obstetrician for the first time this pregnancy. Because now that I'm further along, my family doctor basically referred me to an obstetrician, and thankfully I got to be assigned to the very same obstetrician that took care of me and Sabrina when I was pregnant with Sabrina the first time around. So yay, I'm so happy, because I really, really love this obstetrician. She is one of the best, at least in my eyes. I've had such a positive experience with her. She's just so knowledgeable, and she hears me, she really takes the time to listen and to address any concerns I might have, and she's very good at reassuring me as well. So I am so happy. All right. So yeah, because of COVID and all that, this very first appointment that I had with my OB was actually a phone consult. So it was basically an appointment over the phone, just until I'm further along enough that they would need to see me in person. So since I had no concerns whatsoever when it came to like, cramping, bleeding, water breaking, or anything like that, they agreed that I was safe enough to have a phone consult with them. So it was really exciting, because then I got to speak to one of the nurses at the obstetrical clinic. I also got to speak to it with my OB doctor. So exciting. So yeah, she's like, oh my gosh, I remember you. And she's like, how are you? How's Sabrina? And yeah, she's just amazing. She's phenomenal. I'm so lucky to have her again take care of me and this baby this time around. Like during this phone consult, she was asking me how I'm doing. I think she asked for my weight, and also they had relayed to me about the fact that I failed my glucose screen, which was the first blood test, but I passed my fasting blood glucose or gestational diabetes test, which is awesome news. So I do not have gestational diabetes, thank goodness. But now, remember how I mentioned that I was feeling some puffiness or tightness down there? Without even seeing me, my doctor told me that it is possible, she gave me this diagnosis, that I might be suffering from vulvar varicosity. Do you guys even know what that is? Because I didn't know. I was like, okay, just because like I'm in the nursing profession, I had an idea, and I was like, vulvar varicosity. So vulva is basically the area of my lady bits down there, which is like the lip area, only lower down. I mean, it's further down, sort of like around the opening of my vagina. You guys, if this is TMI, it's a pregnancy update, you guys. Like, what did you expect? Of course, I'm gonna give you some TMI stuff. So sorry for those of you whose ears are like, oh no, like I don't want to hear this, but yeah. I'm sorry. This is all part of pregnancy. It's all part of being a woman. I am very proud of any symptoms that I experienced during this pregnancy because, like I said, it is a miraculous and a beautiful thing that a woman's body is capable of growing a human baby inside of her, you know. So I am not going to be ashamed. I'm telling you now. I'm going to legit tell you every single thing that my body's going through. I'm not ashamed because I remember when my first pregnancy that I appreciated those YouTube videos of other mamas who were being as honest and as real as possible when it comes to the symptoms they're going through. And I remember saying, oh, thank goodness, finally someone I can relate to. So if there are any other mamas out there who are going through the same thing, you're not alone. Okay, so basically that's what my doctor told me. She said she's suspecting I might be having vulvar varicosity, which is a varicose vein that's sort of bulging down there in one of my vulva areas, so one of my labia down there. Oh my gosh, I actually did that. Yeah, I'm going live. I'm actually telling people in public, like about 100,000 people. So yeah, not ashamed at all. So of course I told her it was like it felt tighter on my left labia. So she's like, yeah, it's possible you have it on just the one side, but she said that she will book me in to see her anyway. But to see her in about 4 weeks or something like that. But if I feel the need to see her sooner for any reason whatsoever, that I should pick up my phone and just book an appointment as soon as possible. But yeah, she does not sound concerned. She was like, you know, you just need to try your best not to strain too much. You know, like when I'm sitting on the toilet, she said to make sure my bowels are regular so that I'm not straining too much and putting more pressure on the possible varicose vein that I have down there. So yeah, I did my very best to eat food that are rich in fiber. And also I tried my best to stay hydrated. So so far so good. My bowels have been very regular. They're not, you know, hard or constipated. So I'm doing what I can, at least to tide me over until my next physical appointment with my OB. Also for weeks 25 to 26, the exciting thing is that I got my first sighting of colostrum. For those of you who are not familiar with what colostrum is, it's the very first milk that our boobies produce to start up breastfeeding. So it's like a clear fluid, sometimes really thick yellow sort of milk that comes out, which is very, very nutritious and really extremely rich in antibodies and hormones, which are like protein and all this really rich, great stuff for your baby and in helping to improve your baby's immune system. So I noticed that as I was like, like I noticed a little bit of crusting on my nipples. Not on my nipple, but at the very tip. And I was like, where's that coming from? And then I remember like rubbing it with like with a gentle face cloth when I'm showering and all that. And then just trying to take and then after drying it, trying to take a peek as to like why is there a bit of crust on the tip of my nipples? And that's when I noticed like if I pressed a little bit, that some clear fluid was trying to come out. And I'm like, oh, I think the colostrum is starting to show up. So yay. That's a good sign because I would love to breastfeed my second baby just like I did with Sabrina. I believe I breastfed her for about 17 and a half months. And not only was I beginning to dry up that at that time, but also because I had to return to work, and so I wanted to make sure that she was no longer attached to me, so that it would be an easier transition for both both her and myself when I go back to work. And hopefully my boobies would not fill up or become sore, you know what I mean, when they're sort of waiting for the baby to feed on them. So yeah, for other mamas out there, you guys know what I'm talking about. For new moms out there, you're gonna know what I'm talking about when you go through it. Like, you know, you never know. So yeah, for weeks 25 to 26, I'm proud and grateful to say that baby's kicks are definitely stronger and harder, which is awesome because then I don't have to worry as much. thank goodness. And yeah, that's all I have for 25 to 26 weeks of pregnancy. So for weeks 27, 28, and 29, I decided to put all my symptoms together in my notes here because they're pretty much the same. Not much has changed. The only highlight is that for weeks 27 onwards, I have officially entered my third trimester, you guys. Third. Whew. I'm reaching the home stretch. I cannot believe it. I was like, I made it to my third trimester and the baby's still inside, you know, still intact. Oh my gosh. I was like so worried. I'm like, is this baby coming out sooner? Like, how soon is sooner? When other people scare me with like, oh, it's your second pregnancy. Oh my gosh, this baby might come out sooner. I'm like, because my belly is definitely showing more than when I was first pregnant with Sabrina. So they were kind of like, my coworkers were kind of scaring me a little bit, or like, I don't know, you look like you're about to pop now. Like, I don't know if you'll make it to January. I'm like, don't scare me. But yeah, so aside from entering my third trimester, I am also 7 months along now, which is amazing. I am so excited. I feel very tired, like extremely tired, very sleepy because I'm not sleeping well. It's like, you know how they say that that pregnant women tend to wake up in the middle of the night to go pee, and because we use the toilet multiple times in the middle of the night, we're not getting enough sleep. Not necessarily the case for me. I think I wake up only once in the middle of the night because I pace, like I make sure I use the toilet before sleeping for the night, and I also make sure to limit my water intake after 7 p.m. So yeah, I do wake up in the middle of the night once to pee. I think the reason that I'm not sleeping well is because my mind just couldn't stop. It just couldn't stop going and thinking, and just, you know, like the baby's also kicking at the same time. I'm about to doze off, and then their kick happens, and I'm trying to doze off, and then an elbow sort of prods at me. So it's like, it's just, yeah, this baby just wants to keep me up all night. I can already tell. Exciting stuff. So yeah. What else? And I keep waking up multiple times, not necessarily to pee, just like any little noise that I hear, and I just keep checking on Sabrina, who's sleeping in the next room. Of course, we have a baby monitor, so it helps give me peace of mind to see that, oh, she's sleeping, she's safe, she's fine. I don't know what it is. I couldn't sleep. And the worst part is, once I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm actually having a harder time falling right back to sleep, which is not usually how I am. You can wake me up in the middle of the night like 5-6 times, and I could literally just doze off like that, doze right back off, you know. And so this is unusual for me to have to go through this time around. I'm like, why can't I sleep? So then, of course, what do? I pick up my phone, I start watching some YouTube videos, or I start reading some articles until I'm like, my eyes get tired enough to nod back off into sleep. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing, and it's really exhausting, especially if you have to wake up to get ready for work the next day. It's not like when I come home, I just rest and relax and kick my feet up and take a nap anytime I want. With this pregnancy, I have Sabrina to look after. I have Sabrina to engage with, you know, like I have to take care of my little toddler as well and make sure that she feels valued, appreciated, and loved. Like I have to give her the attention that she needs, you know. And then on top of that, I need to make time for my sweet darling husband, you know, like if he, like, once we put Sabrina to bed at say 8:30 p.m. at night, I couldn't just doze off. I mean, there are days when he's like, yeah, just sleep if you need to sleep. But of course, I feel bad. I can't keep doing that. I want to be able to spend time with my husband too. So we end up like, okay, let's watch a movie or two, like on Netflix, on Amazon. Okay, product placing. Basically, let's watch like something online, you know, like a movie or a TV series. And it got really dark. I better hurry. So yeah. Um, aside from those symptoms, I'm also getting brain farts, as I like to call them, at work. So like at work, I would sort of like blank out. My brain will just stop working. I'm like, why did I come to this room? Or what was it that I was gonna do? Like I have to write everything down on a piece of paper as a memo or a reminder to self. Otherwise, they're going to be forgotten, you know? And these are like important things. Like, you know, working as a nurse, you have to take things as seriously as possible because you are dealing with other people's lives and lifestyle and livelihood. So it's like you gotta write things down to remind yourself and to prevent any errors during work. Oh yeah, anyway, it's getting dark. I don't know if you guys can see me. But yeah, I forgot to mention, so basically my doctor did see me, my OB, obstetrician did see me, and she was able to diagnosed me officially with left vulvar varicosity. She was able to take a peek down there and she said, yeah, definitely what she suspected. So she recommended that she gave me a prescription for 2 items, a maternity compression pantyhose. So it's like compression stockings, but they go all the way up to above your belly to help promote, you know, circulation of my legs and my varicosities. Because not only did she find a varicose vein that's bulging down there, my left labia, but left vulvar region, but she also noticed that there was beginning signs of like varicose veins showing up to my left upper thigh, my left crotch, and then at the back of my left knee. So, oh, guys, I've been wearing compression stockings, but like more like a knee-high type to work every single time. But apparently she said it's not enough. I need something that goes all the way up to my belly to help promote circulation higher up. So yeah, she gave me a prescription for that item, and the second item she prescribed was a V2 supporter. We call it here in Canada, we call it a V2 supporter. So basically it's like support, it's like a little jackstrap. It's like a little, I don't know how to explain it. Like an underwear, only it's more straps that help keep things together or supported down there. So like my varicose vein that's bulging in my vaginal area, it's gonna help support keep it so that it doesn't give me that discomfort, you know, because sometimes when I'm peeing, even just peeing, like I feel like the tightness is sort of uncomfortable. But of course you have to take all those, the pantyhose off, the V2 supporter off every time you have to use the toilet, so that's convenient. But yeah, whatever helps to give me that comfort so I'll be able to work as long as I can. Okay, now it got really dark. Let me try to turn on the light. Let there be light. Okay, so you guys, sorry if it got dark earlier there. Thank you so much, you guys, again, for bearing with me, for being so patient with all these late pregnancy updates. I am so glad at least I was able to catch you up to like my 3rd trimester finally. Oh my goodness. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got for weeks 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and 29 of pregnancy. Hopefully you guys will be able to catch up to how far along I really am in real time. Spoiler alert. Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys the truth. I am currently 36 weeks along. So yes, and because since I'm really nearing my home stretch, or like the due date, baby's due date on January 24. The baby's due January 24, 2021. Since I'm really nearing that, I felt like, okay, I desperately need to catch you guys up on this. So thank you so much for watching. For those of you who are new to our channel, thank you for taking the time to watch our videos. These pregnancy updates. Thank you for bearing with my low energy. I do try. At least I have the energy and the motivation now to record, because I'm not gonna spoil that for you guys. But I'll let you tune in to the next video where I'll be giving you more pregnancy updates and hopefully more details as to whether or not I'm still working or whether or not I have gone on maternity leave. So Yes, and also more details on prepping for baby and stuff, and all these restrictions that might come up during the holiday season here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. So yeah, what else? If you guys happen to like the video or found this video helpful at all, please give our video a thumbs up or a like, because that would really help our channel, as well as please for those of you who have not subscribed yet, please subscribe to our channel. We would really appreciate it. It would help support our channel a lot as well. But for those of you Love with Standers who have already subscribed, thank you. We love you so much, and we thank you so much with all our hearts for tuning in, for supporting us, for bearing with us, and for, you know, like leaving your comments of such supporting, such motivational comments in the comment section below. I look forward to hopefully showing you guys a baby in 2021, early 2021. And yeah, I hope you guys have a safe holiday season. Happy holidays to all of you, and I hope that you are all taking care of yourselves as well as taking care of others. Don't forget, self-care is very important as well. And also, what else I have to say? Yeah, just spread the love, not the virus. I'm sorry. I read that somewhere and I'm like, oh my god, that makes total sense. But yeah, also spread kindness, spread respect, spread compassion, patience, like just spread positivity. Yeah. I try to do that every day, so I hope you guys also have the patience and compassion to do it. I love you guys so much, whoever you are, especially our Love with Standers. You're very much appreciated by us. So yes, thank you again for watching, and please tune in to my next pregnancy update, where I'll be filling you in on the new COVID-19 protocols, I believe. It's either coming next or it's coming later. I mean, previous to this, but Justin will figure it out. So yeah, thank you again. Love you guys. Mwah. Bye.